Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavai Tejasvinavaditamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. Om Namah Shivaya Shantaya Karantraya Hetave Nivediyami Chakmanam Katistvam Parameshwara. Om Stapakaya Cha Dharmasya Sarvadharma Swarupine Avatar Varisthaya Ramakrishnaya Te Namah. Savilai Namaskar Ram Ram. Now, this is the only expression I could muster in Nepali language, and I'm sure I written some sentences, but I decided to speak without paper. So either you will have to listen to me in English, or maybe a few expressions in Hindi, which happens to be my mother tongue. Do you all understand Hindi by any chance? Probably not. Anyway, let me speak in English. And I'm sorry because this is my first visit to Nepal, and I think I had friends from Nepal since my childhood. I studied at Ramakrishna Mission Vidyapit Devgar, and I still remember them. One of them was Balman Singh Karki. He was from Nepal. And then in college also I had from Nepal. And then later on we have like Murari Maharaj is from Nepal, and we have workers from Nepal. So I keep on hearing a few words here and a few words there, but nothing that can make me speak in Nepali language. I seek your forgiveness for that. I wish I could speak in your mother tongue. Allow me. First of all, I offer my pranams to Lord Pashupatinath. Since my childhood, it was my dream to come someday to Kathmandu and offer pranams to Pashupatinathji. And thanks to Swami Samarpanananda Maharaj and the managing committee of the Ramakrishna Ashrama, that my dream was fulfilled. Speaking before you is just an excuse, and my own personal motive was to come and offer pranams to Pashupatinathji. And there is Raviraj Thapaji. Because of him, it became very easy for me to go near the Shivalinga, although it was pretty crowded. Now, before I begin, I offer my choicest pranams to the most ancient sages of Hindu traditions, at the feet of Sri Ramakrishna, Sri Sarvadevi, and Swami Vivekananda. Because the religion that began somewhere in the Indus Valley, as they say, and that was given to us by the great sages, and that has been carried forward by a galaxy of sages, not by one or two. And today, if we can boast to be the followers of the most ancient religion of the world that has taught not only toleration but universal acceptance, we owe hugely to these great sages who gave it to us and who carried it till date. And then my very good friend Swami Ekatanandji, he's like my younger brother. And then Mr. Yan, I chanced to meet him at Belur Math, and I lovingly told him that looks like you are trying to convert me into Christianity. Of course he was not. He is such a humorous person. I could take liberties with him while talking. So my dear revered Yan, and Nazrul Hussain, he speaks so beautifully. I would understand his whole speech, although he spoke in Nepali. Such a wonderful speaker. Thank you so much, sir. And then, of course, we have Viblanani, Guru Ma from Buddhistic tradition. Namaskar to you. It was wonderful listening to you, because whenever you come to Nepal, whenever you think of Nepal, there are two things. One is Lord Pashupatinath, And then there is Gautam Buddha, Lord Buddha. Of course, Ma Sita is there, Janakpuri, but these are the two things that really come to your mind when you think of Nepal. And of course, our Professor Suresh Raj Sharmaji, who is such a wonderful person with such huge accomplishments that I really feel privileged to meet him here. And yesterday I was taking a tour of Kathmandu. I wanted to visit Kathmandu University without knowing that I would be meeting its founder, Vice Chancellor, but I was told that it's pretty far and there was a very serious traffic jam, so I couldn't go. And my dear audience, Didi, Bahina, Daju, Bhaira, right? So I address you all. And before I begin, I make pranams to this august assembly. This assembly, where many people assemble, was traditionally known in the Vedas as Sabha. And Sabha was treated as God. There are prayers in the Vedas where a learned Brahmin, he's praying to Sabha that I am going in the assembly, may I speak properly, may I speak well. And the prayers with which we began, Sana Bhavatu, Sana Bhunaktu, and with which I started, I think most of you might be knowing the meaning. Essentially it means that there should be a perfect coordination of understanding between the speaker and the listener, between the teacher and the disciple. With that, I begin. So, when Professor Shekhar, he was reading out from the reply to the welcome at Chicago Parliament of Religions, I'll just give you a slight background. It was 1893. America was celebrating its 400th year of founding. Columbus had founded 400 years ago. And they wanted to show to the world that, see how great we have become. Because they had not yet become great. Showing off is a sign that you have not yet arrived. You are struggling to arrive. America was struggling to arrive because the real power was in the hands of the British. So they also decided to have a World Parliament of Religions to prove conclusively to the world, I know you don't mind, that Christianity is the only true religion and all other religions are fake. If you just read into the history, you will know. And Americans, they come up with brilliant ideas, particularly when it comes to making money. So, I'm not sure if they could make money out of that parliament, but it was a success. And success particularly because something new came out of it. And it was in the form of Swami Vivekananda. And there was such objection, vehement objection to this Parliament of Religions that most Christian leaders of the world refused to take part. Said, how dare you treat other religions at par with Christianity? It's a fact. Historical fact. And then Swamiji, when he got up, there was a dais, there were all the famous delegates, all the major delegates were there, and whenever Swamiji was asked to come up, he was feeling hesitant. Then ultimately he said, either you speak or your turn goes. He bowed before. He made pranams to Mother Saraswati, which every Hindu does, the goddess of learning. And then he began, sisters and brothers of America. So there was around 4,000, 5,000 people. Like in earlier times, there was no system of microphone. electricity was not yet invented. Our Thomas Alva Edison was dabbling in recording, etc., but the system had not yet worked. So the halls were made that way, that 3,000, 4,000 people could hear. And there was tremendous applause. Probably they were being courteous. Probably something more was there. What is very interesting about that applause, which not many of you know, the applause was so loud and it was so electrifying that practically most people got up from their seat and young ladies ran to touch the cloth of Swami Vivekananda. And there was one lady sitting in the back and said, young man, Swami Vivekananda was at that time just 30. Just 30. He was barely 30, 31, so to say. Young man, if you can resist that temptation, this temptation of applause and females running after you, you are God. And as we know, Swami Vivekananda resisted. No, there is no question of resistance. There was no effect on him. There was something divine about it. On a personal note, I was barely 6-7 years old when I first heard Sisters and Brothers of America, and there was clapping, there was applause, and etc., etc. I couldn't make any sense out of it. Because every political leader, like when I grew up, India was just becoming politically conscious, and every speaker would begin with Bhaiyo or Bhanu. Not Bhanu or Bhaiyo. Then probably Swami Vivekananda said Bhanu or Bhaiyo, sisters and brothers. No, but I didn't. Then I studied in the Ramakrishna mission and I asked the monks what exactly was the reason. Somehow this problem was there with me. This curiosity, what exactly was happening? It was much later I found out the answer. And where Swami Vivekananda himself answers about the power of divinity behind those 5 words. More interestingly, when I became a monk and going deeper into things, I realized that, well, there were 5 words, sisters and brothers of America. It was not a mere expression. There is much more to it. Much more to it. First thing that it teaches you is a message of Hindu religion of universality. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The whole world is your own. No one is an alien. Everyone is your sister, everyone is your brother. And what he was speaking, he meant. What he was speaking, he meant. It was not a political speech. It was not a speech by a scholar. It was not a speech by a philosopher. That you might have heard. This famous story of Lord Buddha and Angulimal. Angulimal, the famous robber, he told when he met Lord Buddha, he said, stop. Lord Buddha says, I have stopped. When will you? I said that fell at the feet of Lord Buddha. The power of word doesn't come by scholarship. It doesn't come by how much you know. It comes from the depth of your personality. Words have to be the verbal expression of what you are. Lord Buddha was the expression of peace. Like any mom, any mom. A mom just tells beta. And there's so much of love. She doesn't have to go on telling, oh, so beta, I love you, beta, I love you. No. One word, one expression. Because the mom is personification of love. Swami Vivekananda was the personification of universality. We are one. No one is an alien. We are one. Second, I just asked and found Brahmastra Jaste, like Brahmastra. These were kind of 5 Brahmastra, these 5 words in 4 directions in the sky. And like Brahmastra, these words forever were going to destroy completely exclusiveness in matters of religion, in matters of language, in matters of culture, in matters of everything. Now when we are hearing of this acceptance, religious harmony, these things are new things. It was not there earlier. It all started from Swami Vivekananda because he was here for that. And third very important thing, although it's not directly related to our topic, is that particular speech along with paper on Hinduism. I'm sure you will find it there in Chicago. I had this paper on Hinduism. It gave a defining shape to Hindu religion. Like if you go to Hindu religion, about which we will be talking about, then it's a huge mass, unwieldy mass. कुछ समझ में नहीं आता है, कुछ बातें इधर जा रही है, कुछ बातें उधर जा रही है, तो समझ में नहीं आता है. But Swami Vivekananda gave a defining shape. Defining shape to something about which we know that probably it was founded 10,000 years ago, maybe 8,000 years ago, maybe 6,000 years ago, because that belongs to the realm of the historians, not ours. And historians will tell anything because after all they also have to live. They have to write papers. And if they don't write papers, who will know them? And if people do not know them, how they will earn money? So, well, we don't get into that area. And we find that Hindu religion was given a defining shape. First, by the great Vyasa. Vyasa, he organized the Vedas, he wrote Mahabharata, and he wrote the Puranas. That's what the tradition says. Second, defining power came from Shankaracharya. He unified the philosophy and gave us a defining shape of Hindu religion, defining shape to Hindu religion. And third is Sri Ramakrishna Swami Vivekananda. Particularly the small book, paper on Hinduism, if you chance to read, you will know. So very clearly he says what are the broad principles of Hindu religion, what Hindu religion stands for, etc., etc. What does it stand for? Hindu religion? Well, for that we have to first understand what exactly religion is. Thousands of years ago, there was this Indus Valley civilization. They say that there lived a race that called itself Aryan. The word Aryan means cultured, refined. Their tastes were refined. Their language was refined. Their habits were refined. Food habits were refined. And their clothes were refined. That's very clearly means, like, if you chance to read the Vedas, you will clearly see the shadows and pictures of these things what I am saying. Now of those people, because there was some kind of affluence, people had time, they went for poetry, they went for drama, and some of them went deeper inside their mind. They became introspective. As you become introspective, your words go silent, then your mind goes silent. And a time comes when mind stops functioning. That means mind is always active. If it's not active, it's not even known as mind. Now they have come up with a new term called no mind. When we use the term no mind, actually it conveys something different. Essentially it means mind becomes totally still. In that state, for example, those of you who have studied the life of Lord Buddha, who know him, that night of enlightenment, mind becomes totally still. And the reality about creation, reality about the created, and the reality about the creator, these come in one single clear picture. You know everything about creator, you know everything about creation, and you know everything about the created beings, the world and God. But, as we mentioned, this knowledge of God or supreme reality, or call it by any name, call it Atman, call it Nirvana, call it anything, it comes only when your mind is completely still, silent. So how do you know what exactly happens on that side? Actually, there is no way. Only in the Upanishads we get some idea how exactly that knowledge comes. That knowledge comes through the test that remains. For example, when you sleep, you have deep sleep, you remember nothing. You get up, you say, oh, I had such a wonderful deep sleep, I remember nothing. You remember nothing. And nothing is something very positive. It's not shunya, it's positive. Just like that, when you return from that state of samadhi, that state of super consciousness, you remember. You remember what? Well, you were in presence of, you were with the supreme reality which was conscious. It's a state of consciousness. It's not a state of inertness. And it is not that it doesn't exist. Because if it doesn't exist, no use talking about it. And it's full of bliss. Our sages gave a single term for that, Satchidananda. When we say Chidananda or Satchidananda, these are all same. When we say Satyam, Shivam, Sundaram, we are telling the same thing. The supreme reality exists. The supreme reality is of the nature of consciousness. It knows. And it's of the nature of bliss. What is the proof for it? Proof of pudding lies when you taste it. You taste it. You go, meditate. It's open to all. There is no exclusiveness about it. Absolutely no exclusiveness. It's not that I am telling you and you believe. No. It's not that I got it and you won't get it. No. It's open to all. Anyone can do it. And these people who got that knowledge, they gave us the Vedas. Not one, not two, hundreds of sages. And there were Rishikas, female sages. Today these English-speaking people, I don't know what hatred they have for the Hindus. They are continuously coming up with new and newer allegations against us. That we have tortured women. What do you mean by tortured women? Women were Rishikas. They have given us the Vedas. Go find. You will find their names. There was absolutely no kind of discrimination. There never was any kind of discrimination. All this came in the last few hundred years. However, this spiritual truth that the Vedas talk about, on which Hindu religion is founded, actually is too subtle to grasp. I am sure most of you barely understood what I am telling. This problem was realized by the ancient masters. So what they did was, they explained those things in 4 classes of literature. First one is known as philosophy. Philosophy comes to us from the Upanishads and Gita. Second is stories. They come from Itihas, Puran tradition, Ramayana, Mahabharata and Puranas. This is the second class of literature. Third is rituals. Like for example, when you go to Pashupatinath Mandir, you might have seen those priests performing rituals. These rituals come mostly from the Puranic traditions and Tantra traditions. And the last is how to conduct yourself. For example, when I came, Swamiji gave me this Rudraksh bead. And he gave me this chadar. Why give this? Why not give something else? Because These things are defined by social conduct known as smritis. So we have literally thousands and thousands of... For example, just in the Puranas, there are 18 Puranas and 18 Upapuranas. Combined they have 11, roughly 12 lakh shlokas. 12 lakh shlok. Just only in the Puranas. Mahabharata is 1 lakh shlok. Kitna padhenge log? What exactly they are telling? Vedas are there, the Upanishads are there, Mahabharata is there, Puranas are there. How much one will read? What exactly they want to say? Simple. 2 sentences it can be put. First one is Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma. God alone is true. Brahman alone exists. Whatever we are saying is the expression of that consciousness. Second, Ekam Sadvipra Bodha Vadanti. That truth is one. Depending on what kind of mind you have, you will perceive it differently. For example, I was trying to see the Himalayan peaks and snow peaks, snow range. But I was told that no, we have to go a bit interior. Think of snow line somewhere. And you are in a house with different openings, windows and doors and holes. Depending on from where you are looking at that peak, it will appear differently. Or the example that they give of elephant and blind persons. But this one is more apt. Depending on what kind of mind you have, in what culture you have grown up, what is the land where you have grown up, your understanding of the reality will be different. Why? Very simple reason. Very simple reason. That consciousness is infinite. God is infinite. This infinity is not the infinity of mathematics. This infinity is not the infinity of physics. This infinity is not the infinity of the sky, not of the ocean. Infinity means infinity where infinity plus infinity is infinity. Infinity minus infinity is infinity. We finished with Purnamida, Purnamada, Purnamidam, Purna, Purnamudachyate. Purnasya Purnamadaya. If you take the whole out of it, what will remain? Purna. There is a famous book, it's known as Infinity Portal. And it says that everything is infinite about it. And that Infinity Portal had 1 year loss of infinite rupees. So how much money they had after that, how much profit they made? Infinite. Does it make any sense? How can it make any sense? The hotel is making a loss of infinite number of rupees and yet making a profit of infinite amount of rupees. Well, this exactly is the nature of God. This exactly is the nature of consciousness. This exactly is what Hinduism teaches. This exactly is what all the scriptures of Hindu religion teach. And this is what Sri Ramakrishna taught us. Sri Ramakrishna belongs to that great line of sages. The sages that began with, say, Vyas and Shankaracharya and others. Sri Ramakrishna, most of you might be knowing, he was born in an extremely poor family in a village known as Kamarpukur, which is in present-day West Bengal. When he was barely 18 years old, he came in search of job. Like poverty was the eternal problem of India, particularly under foreign dominion. Like when the Mughals came, they at least came to settle here. Whatever wealth was created stayed here. But when the British came, the only purpose was to loot everything. And when I say India, it means Nepal too. Because we suffered the same fate. After all, they say, na, India mein, roti beti ka rishta hai. What we suffer, you also suffer. What you suffer, we also suffer. And Sri Ramakrishna became a temple priest. And that's when his curiosity arose. Is Mother Kali for real? Or are we worshipping a statue? And slowly his sadhana started becoming intense and intense. And it became so intense that his mind became one-pointed, totally focused. Just now we were discussing how spiritual realization comes. Voice stopped, and then your mind stopped, and his mind stopped. And he had the vision of Mother Kali, not as Mother Kali, but as consciousness. Anyway, that's quite technical. What is very interesting about Sri Ramakrishna's biography, that he was not a scholar. What he had learned was just from his village traditions, and little bit from hearing here and hearing there, and his own intense desire. Which means, no one can say, for example, like in earlier times we heard that Brahmins would say that only they can perform rituals. Brahmins said this, Brahmins claim that they have the exclusive right over the Vedas. They may have, but not on spirituality. Spirituality can be attained by anybody. It's irrespective of race, gender, anyone. Anyone can realize. And Sri Ramakrishna, being barely literate, he was barely literate. He first had the vision of Mother Kali as pure consciousness, and he didn't stop there. He continued. Vaishnava traditions, Tantra traditions, Shakta tradition, he practiced everything and mastered it. He did not stop even there. He went on to know how the Muslims pray. And he practiced Islam sadhana. And then he practiced Christianity. Whatever came to this knowledge, whatever. For example, he didn't know about Parsi religion. So he didn't practice it. That doesn't exclude Parsi religion. Simply because he didn't know. And ultimately, how do you look at Sri Ramakrishna? As a spiritual capsule. Like time capsule. In time capsule, the entire history of that land is kept in miniature form. And Sri Ramakrishna is a spiritual capsule that represents the 10,000 years of spiritual traditions of Hindu race or Hindu religion. That's what he is. Towards the end of his life, he told his chosen disciples that he is the same who had come earlier as Sri Rama, and is the same who had earlier come as Sri Krishna. Meaning, he was an avatar. Today we worship him as an avatar. I prayed avatar avaristhaya. But anyone can claim that if you come to India, you'll find this Bhagwan and that Bhagwan and then Guru and then Sri and that Bishri and anything. And someone is teaching you Om, someone is teaching you Hari Om, someone teaching you Bam Bam, kya sikha rahe? Sab koi bol rahe Bhagwan hai. What is the proof that you are God? Like, I can say Sri Ramakrishna is avatar avaristhaya. You will say, to hell with you. That's the right expression. I don't even believe that he's an avatar. If we don't believe in avatar, what is the proof? It's a very simple proof. First thing is, we say, Palena Parichiyate. Judge a tree by its fruits. Just look at what disciples he had and what disciples the disciples had, and you will know whether or not the Guru is fine. If you have to judge a Guru, you have to wait at least for 100 years of his death, and then you will know what was his spiritual potential. But if you just look at Swami Vivekananda and the other disciples of Sri Ramakrishna and the tradition that we are following in the Sri Ramakrishna mission, you will know what power he had put into his disciples. Second very important thing is, those of you who are into spiritual practices know, every sage, every saint, he can appear to you in your dreams. He can appear to you in visions, meditation. But an incarnation can appear before you anytime, anywhere, as a living body also. For example, Father will tell you about resurrection of Christ. More famous, there was this St. Paul. Jesus appeared before him. And St. Paul was an anti. He was antichrist. He was on way to Damascus to prosecute the Christians. And Jesus appeared before him and said, "Why are you hurting my children?" Something like that. This is the speciality of incarnation. He can appear anywhere, anytime, and to anyone. irrespective of whether or not you are a follower. Now, Sri Ramakrishna, even in his own time, we have huge number of testimony of people who were related, who were unrelated, to whom Sri Ramakrishna appeared. Third, most important thing is, if you look at the religious history of the world, you will find that whenever a powerful spiritual person comes, for example, here is Mr. Hassan, he will tell you also, when Prophet Muhammad, do I have to add peace upon him here? P-U-B, peace be upon him. It's a must. There was a huge evolutionary push. Every incarnation will give a massive evolutionary push, not to his religion, to the whole world. 1836, Sri Ramakrishna came. 1886, at the age of 15. Now, just see what is happening in the world. Simple. This time, we could have imagined. Just think of the revolution in the knowledge, in the field of knowledge. It's massive. Well, ultimately it's a matter of choice. It's a matter of choice. The question is, okay, fine. Even if I accept that Sri Ramakrishna is an incarnation, what is there? And what exactly he taught? Sri Ramakrishna taught exactly what Hindu religion taught. It can be summed up in 2 sentences. God alone is true. Everything else is Shimera. As I said, Sarvam Khaludam Brahma. God alone exists. Everything else is temporary, transitory. And second, Jato Mat, Tato Path, has been failed so many paths. Why? As I explained, it's not that he is more correct, he is less correct. No. The idea is, depending on what kind of mind you have, you will perceive the reality differently. Nothing wrong with it till you are sincere about it. Supposing a person who is indulging in all kinds of debauch, he says that I know only enjoyment. Is he right? Well, in the long run he will be right. Because after thousands of births he will realize that it's all meaningless. But when you have a conscious struggle, a conscious journey towards God, mind you, the term is conscious journey, conscious struggle, well, you are on the right path. Because if God be true, as we have the testimony of thousands of sages and hundreds of sects and tens of religions, every religion will say God is true. According to them, he can say Allah and he can say God, but ultimately you say that God, who has all the power, who has all the knowledge, is true. Well, if you are sincere about it, he will set you right. You don't have to worry. You only have to be struggling consciously. So what is there for us in that? First thing is, we are taking this world too seriously. Don't take this world too seriously. We are taking this enjoyment too seriously. Don't. This is only a transit point. Like our airport. Airport is not the destination. It's a transit point. Treat it as only as a transit point. Railway station is only a transit point. You are there to take a train. We are here to move onward. We are here to move upward. Our goal is to make our consciousness grow. Focus on that. Second, know that every path is correct. But your path is not his path and her path is not your path. So, hold on to one spiritual ideal. It doesn't matter what is your spiritual ideal. Just hold on to one spiritual ideal. Don't you worry about the rightness and wrongness of things. Just hold on and proceed. Okay, fine. We have been talking about universality and universal acceptance and this and that. Supposing somebody says, I don't believe in Hindu religion, I don't believe in any religion, I don't believe in God. Is there anything for me? Does the universality of Hindu religion have anything to offer to me? Yes. First it says nowadays there is a common term, YOLO, you only live once. No religion minded will say that you only live once. Life continues after death in one form or the other. This is the first condition of every religion. Whatever the religion, whether it continues in heaven or in hell or in rebirth or whatever it be, life has to continue. So be careful about what you do, because it will come back to you. Restrain yourself. Religion teaches you restraint. Why? Reason is very simple. Whatever I have been talking, and those of you who have been listening very carefully and trying to practice, you will see that whatever I am saying is absolutely logical and historical, of course. Second is, Hindu religion is all about freedom. It frees you. Total freedom. It says, struggle all the time, wherever you are, for freedom. Be free. It doesn't mean that you have to give a license to your senses. It's not about freedom of the senses. It's about freedom from the senses. Please note it. Freedom from the senses. Religion is about freedom from the senses. It teaches you at every stage you have to struggle, because that is what will give you strength. What is strength? Believe that all strength is inside you. And struggle to bring this strength outside. Don't depend on anyone, not on your parents, not on your society, not on your country, and most importantly, not even on your God, because you are one with God. God has created you. It's the responsibility of God to look after you. So don't cringe, don't go asking, don't be a beggar. If you have to ask, go. Ask like a prince. As prince goes and tells the king, here I am, your prince. This is my birthright. Give it to me. Have strength. Do you have that strength? For example, when I went to Pashupatinath Mandir, I never asked for anything. I just said, Baba, you are Baba, and I am also Baba. I am so glad to meet you. Finish. Nothing else. Baba, Pashupatinath, and in India I am called a Baba. So we are both Baba, we are one, we are same, nothing. So happy to see you, wanted to see you since my childhood, finished. And every morning I am going to meet Baba Vishnu. Tomorrow also I will try to go, I have some program. And lastly, most important thing that religion teaches you is to take everybody along. Take everybody along. There is no exclusiveness. It's not only about no exclusiveness in religion. No exclusiveness in life too. And today what's happening? See. Today they marry, tomorrow they divorce. What's happening? Life runs on values. And values are taught by religion. There is no system, absolutely no system. There cannot be any this human approach to values. Values have to come from higher things. Values always come from religion. No religion will ever teach you to be exclusively yourself. No. Take everybody along. The bottom line is Hindu religion and Sri Ramakrishna. They taught you to rise above your body consciousness. But that is what every religion teaches. Go to any religion. Goal of every religion is to appraise your level of consciousness. Now if indeed this be the goal of every religion, to raise the level of your consciousness from body to being divine, where can there be any kind of conflict? Where can there be any kind of fight between the religions? How can there be disharmony? Because after all, what you are doing, I am also doing. Well, this is what Hindu religion stands for. This is what God incarnates from ages to age and land to land. And this is why Sri Ramakrishna came. So, well, this is what I have to say. And I thank you all for listening to me patiently. Time is up. In fact, I must have crossed my time. I was given half an hour. Now, I have come from Kolkata. That much time I deserve. So thank you so much, Didi, Bahina, our Bhai, सब. Thank you so much for listening. And I pray, I genuinely pray that Lord Pashupatinath take care of all the people of Nepal as He looks after all the people of the world. To my best, whatever good I have in me, here I offer to Lord Pashupatinath. I mean it. And my prayers to Sri Ramakrishna, and thank you, all of you, and my most sincere thanks to the managing committee, to dear devotees of Kathmandu Ashram, and to my very good friends. Some of them are not present, some are present. Thank you all. Om Shanti Shanti.
Thank you, Maharaj Samarpanananda ji, for your insightful speech on what Hinduism stands for. Now, I'd like to request President of Ramakrishna Ashram, Nepal, to present token of love to the guests on the dais.
Finally, my term has come. Vote of thanks ceremony is a very cruel job. छिडुजानुस् उहाँले पढाउनुहुन्छ, यहाँ बोल्नुहुन्छ, रमाइलो हुन्छ, अनिखेरि तपाईँ थाल्नुहुन्छ, अनिखेरि मेरो पालो आउँछ, बोल्न पाउन्न. धन्यवाद, जानुहोस्. It's a very bad job. But still, I would like to take a few minutes to talk. It's a wonderful Maharaj, really enlightening. So it's like a tripta, never satisfied. It's a wonderful moment I have shared with you. So, chairman of this Ramakrishna Mission Nepal, Swami Kathmandu, and the respected chief guest of this auspicious occasion, Reverend Pujya Swami Samarpanananda Maharaj, our guest of honor, highly esteemed, respected professor and founding vice chancellor of Kathmandu University, Dr. Suresh Rajsakshiju, Vimalananda Guruma, Pranam, and Islam Nazirul Islamju, Pranam, and Catholic Father Jan, and also. Yes, Ramakrishna Mission Nepal को आयोजना गरेको यस मिशनका महान गुरु तथा महान पुरुष श्री स्वामी विवेकानन्द महाराजलाई विश्वभरिको जम्मा भएका विभिन्न धार्मिक नेताहरू, समुदायहरू विश्वलाई सिकागोमा दिनुभएको महान बानीको आज 130औं वर्ष समारोह मनाउन हामी यहाँ जम्मा भएका छौं. यहाँबाट जो आउनु भएको छ, लेडिज एन्ड जेन्टलमेन, दिदी बहिनीहरू, उहाँले भनेको छ, ब्रदर्स एन्ड सिस्टर्स अफ द वर्ल्ड एन्ड ब्रदर्स एन्ड सिस्टर हु आर हियर विथ अस, यहाँलाई धेरै धेरै स्वागत तथा धैर्यताको लागि एकदम हृदयदेखि नमन गर्न चाहन्छु. It's a great pleasure to have the respected Reverend Pujya Swami Samarpanananda Ji Maharaj to grace the occasion as a chief guest. तर आज अलिकति मलाई म अलिकति कस्तो लाग्छ भने आज हामी वास्तवमा 130 वर्षको स्वामी विवेकानन्दजीले जे कुरा यहाँ भन्नुभएको थियो त्यो कुरालाई फोकस गर्नलाई हामी जम्मा भएको थियो. यसमा अलिकति फोकस कम भयो जस्तो मलाई कता कता लाग्यो, किन हामी यो कुरालाई आज जीवन्त गर्नलाई यो प्रोग्राम गरेको हो. र यहाँ चाहिँ व्यक्तिगत कुराहरू भन्दा आफ्नो व्यक्तिगत धारणा हुँदा यसमा के भनेको छ भन्दाखेरि यो राम्रोसँग पढ्नु तर हाम्रो धेरै राम्रो हाम्रो रामकृष्ण मिसन नेपालले यो यहाँलाई घर लैजान दिएको छ. 10 चोटि पढ्नुहोस्, 100 चोटि पढ्नुहोस्. उहाँले जे कुरा बोल्नु भएको छ त्यो कुरा यसमा छ. र यो हामीले के भन्न खोजेको भन्ने कुरा यसले नै भन्छ. यो रेफरेन्स आजको कुरालाई रेफरेन्स लिनुहोस्, यो चाहिँ हाम्रो ओरिजिनल हो. अहिले बोलेको कुरा फोटोकपी हो, यसलाई कसरी आजको दिनमा ढाल्ने यो हाम्रो च्यालेन्ज हो। त्यसले गर्दाखेरि मेबी मलाई चाहिँ अलिकति हामी डेभिएट त भएको छैन, तर अलिकति उहाँलाई चाहिँ दिनुपर्ने रेस्पेक्ट र दिनुपर्ने फोकस उहाँको बारेमा हामीले धेरै गरेर जस्तो लाग्यो मलाई। म त्यसरी नमन गर्न चाहन्छु। यो स्वामी विवेकानन्दजीको 130 वर्ष अगाडिको अहिले अडियो भिजुअलमा छ, युट्युबमा छ, त्यो साउन्ड, त्यो भोइस, त्यो एरोमा, त्यो म्याग्नेटिजम चाहिँ त्यसको लागि हामी रिभाइभ गर्न अहिले आज यहाँ बसेको हौँ। त्यो कुरा अलिअलि त भयो जस्तो लाग्छ मलाई है। त्यसले गर्दाखेरि मलाई चाहिँ यहाँ 83 को चाहिँ भाषण एकदमै ठिक लाग्छ। अहिले उहाँले रिसाइट गर्नुभयो, त्यो कुरालाई लेटेस्ट रिड एगेन एन्ड एगेन, लेट्स गो थ्रु इट। सरले भन्नुभयो एब्जर्भ गर्ने नलेज, टेप रिकर्ड विद्वान होइन, टेप रिकर्डले ज्ञान दिँदैन, टेप रिकर्ड हुने होइन, त्यसलाई भित्र एसिमुलेट गर्ने हो। कहिले गर्नुहुन्छ होला। सो महाराज उहाँलाई मैले जहिले पनि दर्शन गरेर आई वान्टेड टु ब्रिङ काठमाडौँ बिकज आई मेड हिम देयर ट्वाइस एन्ड आई स्टिल रिमेम्बर द टी एन्ड बिस्किट्स महाराज when I visited। र गजब लाग्छ मलाई, उहाँको पासपोर्ट छैन, उहाँले अहिलेसम्म पासपोर्ट गर्नु भएको छैन, उहाँलाई देश विदेश घुम्ने रहर छैन, कहीँ जानुभएको छैन। उहाँको पहिलो विदेश भने नेपाल हो अहिले यो उमेरमा। र उहाँको एक्लै इच्छा यहाँ आउने पनि के भन्दाखेरि जिन्दगीमा पशुपतिनाथको दर्शन गर्नु पर्यो। उहाँ जब आउनुभयो हामीले बेलुका ल्याएर आरती गर्न लगायौँ, इन्जोय गरेको छौँ। भोलिपल्ट उहाँले उहाँबाट जल ल्याउनु भएको छ, जललाई त्यो लिङ्गमा नै पशुपतिनाथको सबै चढाउनु पर्ने भनेको यता भिड उता भिड सकिएन। त्यसो पुलिसको तागर लगाएर भित्र गएको ठ्याक्कै भयो। उहाँ भेरी ह्याप्पी हो एन्ड ह्याप्पी द्याट आफ्टर जल इट हज गन टु द स्वर्ग। त्यसले गर्दाखेरि 3 दिनमा 4 चोटि भिजिट गर्नुभयो। तर हामी कतिचोटि पशुपति गइरहेको छौँ अहिले, हप्ताको एकचोटि, महिनाको एकचोटि। र चिजमा जाँदाखेरि जाँडले लट्ठ्यामा लागेको चिज के थिए, त्यो धर्मलाई पनि अलिकति देखाउन लागि जसले अरू भिडियो हाल्छ, नाचेर जाँड खाएको बेला भएर फोटो खिचेर हाल्या हुन्छ। त्यो किन गरिरहेको थाहा छैन। राम्रै धर्मै गरेर चिजमा बस्ने पनि धेरै छन्। मेजोरिटी 1, 2, 3, 4 क्लिप्स टिकटकमा हालेर त्यो बेइज्जत गर्न खोजेको हो कि इज्जत गर्न खोजेको हो, यहाँहरूले बुझ्नुपर्ने कुरा हो। त्यसले गर्दा अब धेरै कुरा नगरौँ। हामी को हौँ भन्दाखेरि वी आर मोर्टल्स, मृत्युञ्जय होइन। हामी त फुच्चे फाचे हौँ, भगवान्का फुच्चे फाचे, रामकृष्ण परमहंसको फुच्चे फाचे हौँ। र सही बाटोमा आउनलाई उहाँले आउनुभयो। अहम ब्रह्मास्मि तत्त्वमसि भनेर त उहाँको फेरि बुद्धम शरणम गच्छामि, धर्मम शरणम गच्छामि, सङ्गम शरणम गच्छामि भनेर मिलेर नमिलिकन सङ्ग गर्न सकिएला न, सकिँदैन नि। त्यसले हाम्रो त्यो नै हाम्रो मन्त्र हो। त्यसले गर्दाखेरि यो किताबलाई नछाडौँ, यो फ्री छ, त्यहाँ चाहिँ हाम्रो परिसर। त्यसले गर्दाखेरि नाउ आदरणीय सम्मान अतिथि काठमाडौँ विश्वविद्यालयका संस्थापक उपकुलपति प्रोफेसर डाक्टर सुरेश राज थालेज्यूलाई उहाँको बहुमूल्य वचन समय उपस्थितिको लागि यहाँलाई रामकृष्ण मिसन नेपालको तर्फबाट सबैले धन्यवाद तथा कृतज्ञता ज्ञापन गर्न चाहन्छु। यस्तै बौद्ध धर्मवादी विद्युत गुरुमा विमलानन्द गुरुमालाई पनि उहाँको बुद्ध वचनको लागि सबैले धन्यवाद कृतज्ञता ज्ञापन गर्छु। उहाँ गुरुमाको के छ भन्दाखेरि उहाँले पत्याएर नजिक नआएको ज्ञान दिनुहुन्न, त्यसरी उहाँको ज्ञानतिर लिएर छैन। शङ्खमूलमा उहाँको ठुलो छ, म 2-4 चोटि गएको छु। विकसना सेन्टर छ, ध्यान गर्ने ठाउँ छ, धेरै चलचित्र छ। तपाईँ पनि भिजिट गर्नु। शङ्खमूल पारिपट्टि भावना केन्द्र छ हो, म 4-5 चोटि गएको छु। त्यहाँ गजबको ठाउँ छ, त्यो पनि तपाईँले अब धेरै ठुलो कुरा पाउनुहुन्छ। त्यस्तै इस्लाम धर्मका गुरु नजरुल इस्लामज्यूलाई पनि उहाँको वचनको लागि र ज्ञानको लागि र हामीलाई जे भन्नुभयो त्यसलाई धेरै धेरै धन्यवाद छ। त्यस्तै क्याथोलिक क्रिस्चियन धर्मगुरु यान बानिक्षज्यूलाई पनि म सबैले धन्यवाद र कृतज्ञता ज्ञापन गर्न चाहन्छु। मैले एउटै रिक्वेस्ट, यो स्पिचलाई पढ्नुहोस् 100 पटक। म बच्चा हुँदाखेरि कि कहाँबाट सिक्यो, सरस्वती विराम पुस्तक विराम पुस्तकधार निजाम महानन्दम अहिलेसम्म आउँछ कहाँबाट आयो थाहै छैन है। त्यो यस्तो कुरा योलाई पनि त्यसै भयो भने मेबी अलिकति बुद्धि पराउँछ होला नेपाली। थ्याङ्क यू। त्यसपछि अब सिद्धियो भोक पनि लाग्यो, थके पनि लाग्यो, कति कुरा सुन्ने भन्दाखेरि अलिकति मुख मिठाउने ठाउँ छ यहाँ त्यसपछि। तर त्यसभन्दा बुद्धि मिठाउने ठाउँ छ महाराजको 9वटा किताब। एउटा किताब त अब्दुल कलामजीले इन्ट्रोडक्सन दिनुभएको छ, त्यही भने वर्ल्ड रिनाउन्ड किताबमा छ। मैले प्राय 8-7 पढिसकेँ। धर्मको बाहेक उहाँको त्यो भावना, सोचाइ, कल्पना यसरी जान्छ कि त्यो क्रतु भन्ने तपाईँको कोही मान्छे मैले मेरो अघिल्लो दिनमा के अरे थाहा भएन भने म कति दुःख पाउँछु भन्ने गजबको किताब छ। 4-5 पुस्तकको जन्म जन्मको सम्झना भएर दुःख पाउँदो रहेछ। त्यसै गरी यस्ता किताबहरू गजबको चाहिँ सोकेसमा छन्। हामीले पनि रामकृष्ण मिसनबाट किताबहरू 4-5वटा छ। गोस्पेल अफ रामकृष्णको नेपालीमा ट्रान्सलेसन भएको छ। एउटा प्रोफेसरले 20 वर्ष लगाएर पढाउनु भएको, त्यो त्यहाँ पाउनुहुन्छ। र हाम्रो पाण्डे सरले लेख्नु भएको छ लाइक ए डिक्सनरी अफ हिन्दू धर्म, त्यो वेबसाइटको लिएर पुरै रेफरेन्सेस लिएर त्यो पनि टेबलमा छ। अलिकति किताब पनि हेर्नुहोस्, पढ्ने रहन्छ भने किन्नुहोस्। अनि मिठो मिठो गुलियो खानुहोस्, नुनिलो खानुहोस्, राम्रो खानुहोस्। धेरै धेरै धन्यवाद। वन्डरफुल, थ्याङ्क यू भेरी मच।
धन्यवाद रवि सर र उपस्थित सम्पूर्ण भक्तजन र गण्यमान्य व्यक्तिहरूमा। अब यो हामी प्रोग्रामको अन्त्यतिर आएका छौँ र यो प्रोग्राम अन्त्य हुनुभन्दा अगाडि म स्वामी काठमाडौँज्यू र महाराज समर्पणानन्दज्यूलाई यो कार्यक्रमलाई औपचारिक रूपमा समाप्त गर्नको लागि अनुरोध गर्दछु।
महाराजजीले मलाई नै अनुमति दिनुभयो, तनै गएर जय दिए हुन्छ भनेर भन्नुभयो, त्यही भएर म नै गर्छु त्यो। अनि महाराजको अहिले लेटेस्ट किताब 1 महिना पनि भएको छैन पब्लिस भएको, हाम्रो यहाँ पनि लक्कीली हामीले त्यो 25 कपी मगाएको, 25 कपी पायौँ। त्यसको 3,000 copy all sold, and now it is in reprint. So luckily we got. So Veda Vihangam. So that is a wonderful book, and you know that Ved is a very vast literature, but the essence that is of the Vedas, most important things, what we need to know as Hindus or otherwise also, that is very beautifully given, presented by Swamiji in that book Veda Vihangam. Besides about Tia already, it is already well known, but that Veda Vihangam and all his books, I have read all his books. It is very difficult to recommend particular one. So, but anyway, some books are displayed there, and one book I think it is in all of your hand, Hindu Jivan Dharma, that is the translation of his book, The Hindu Way. We translated and published by Ramakrishna Mission, Ramakrishna Ashrama, Nepal. So, thank you once again for coming here, and there is snacks and other things and small book stall, so you can get both physical food and spiritual or mental food also. So let us give, because our every function we end by Jai. Jai Sri Guru Maharaj Ji ki Jai, Jai Mahamai ki Jai, Jai Swami Ji Maharaj Ji ki Jai, Jai Sri Sri Guheshwari Mai ki Jai, Jai Sri Pasupatinath Mahadev ki Jai.